Syria air strikes, UK confident of success, PM. The UK is confident that air strikes carried out by Britain, the US and France on suspected chemical weapons facilities in Syria have been successful, the PM has said. Theresa May also said it had been right and legal to take action. Military bases near the capital Damascus and the city of Homs were targeted, after an alleged chemical attack on the Syrian town of Douma. Labour's Jeremy Corbyn called the strikes legally questionable. Syrian state media said there had been a violation of international law. Speaking in Downing Street, Mrs May said the limited and targeted strikes had degraded the Assad regime's ability to use chemical weapons. This collective action sends a clear message that the international community will not stand by and tolerate the use of chemical weapons, she added. She also said she would make a statement to Parliament on Monday and give MPs a chance to ask questions. The Ministry of Defense said Storm Shadow missiles were launched by 4 RAF Tornadoes at a former missile base 15 miles west of Homs, where it is thought the Assad regime has been stockpiling items used to make chemical weapons. An MOD spokesperson added the facility was located some distance from any known concentrations of civilian habitation and scientific analysis was used to minimize any risks of contamination to the surrounding area. Mrs May said she believed the attack was the right thing to do and was absolutely in Britain's national interest. What was the UK's involvement in the air strikes? By Jonathan Bale, BBC Defence correspondent. The 4 British Tornado jets took off in the early hours of this morning here from RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus. Each was armed with a Storm Shadow missile. The cruise missile is 5 m, 16 feet, long and has a range of 300 miles. They had already been programmed to find their target using GPS. The 4 Tornadoes fired the missiles well away from Syrian airspace out of range of the regime's air defenses and then they all returned safely. The Ministry of Defence has described the action as proportionate. While the UK might appear to have played a minor role in these strikes, the Defence Secretary Gavin Williamson said it was part of a united response that sent a clear message to President Assad. This is not about intervening in a civil war. It is not about regime change, she said. It is about a limited and targeted strike that does not further escalate tensions in the region and that does everything possible to prevent civilian casualties. Defense Secretary Gavin Williamson also said it had been a highly successful mission. He said the UK, France, and America had played an important role in degrading the ability of the Syrian regime to use chemical weapons. Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson welcomed the news, saying the world is united in its disgust for any use of chemical weapons, but especially against civilians. He said the military strikes were targeting major chemical weapons facilities in Syria. Chemical weapons stockpile. The Ministry of Defense, MOD, said that the 4 RAF Tornadoes launched Storm Shadow cruise missiles at a Syrian military facility. The former missile base was assessed to have been used by the Syrian regime to keep chemical weapon precursors stockpiled in breach of Syria's obligations under the Chemical Weapons Convention, the MOD said in a statement.